Do you think that that has instilled the patriotism in you as well as national leaders? I mean, which one has had the greater impact on you?
Oh, servicemen, absolutely. The camaraderie between, there was a story today, and I don't know the names, but two Marines who served together. One was in need of a liver, and her friend and comrade gave her one. That, I mean, you may find problems getting that from your own family, and here, because they serve together, there's that bond, because they've seen things that you and I just don't want to see. I mean, I can remember when my brother first went into the Army, I stopped watching war movies. I was young. You know, my dad would have the war movies on in the background, and I never really paid attention. But I wasn't old enough to understand the difference between news and TV. So anytime I saw a soldier get hurt, it wasn't a soldier, it wasn't an actor, it was my brother. So there's definitely, to me, they're the true heroes, because they don't even see the greatness was thrust upon them. They just went to work and did their job.
This show was originally going to air around Veterans Day, and you have stacks of papers here to tell us a little bit about Veterans Day and the flag and POWs, and so please just take a few minutes and tell us about that.
Well, Veterans Day was actually originally called Armistice Day. Armistice Day commemorating the winning of World War I, the war to end all wars.
The Treaty of Versailles.
The Treaty of Versailles. And it wasn't until 1926 that we actually observed that and started as a nation to recognize the heroics of winning World War I. And unfortunately, it wasn't until 1938 that it actually became a holiday. And as we entered other wars, and World War II, we learned that World War I was not the war to end all wars.
There were a few more to come.
Yeah, Eisenhower decided that it wasn't just the veterans of World War I, but all veterans that needed to be remembered, a day set aside to remember these great heroes, the men who stand at the gates of freedom. They all needed to be remembered, and he created the first Veterans Day in 1954. So it's been a long history. It is a day that I still hold solemn. It's a day that I thank my brothers maybe a little bit more than I do most days.
Do you fly your flag on Veterans Day?
I fly my flag every day. My flag never comes down.
I fly my flag every day too.
I have it's right on the light of my house, so when it gets dark, I turn on my light. It is illuminated, which is proper etiquette. If you're going to fly a flag at night, it should be lit.
Speaking of flag etiquette, we were talking before the show about flag etiquette as far as if it becomes tattered and such. I thought that if it needed to be taken down, you were to bury it, but you said that
the best thing to do is give it to an organization, the Boy Scouts, the VFW, and there is a ceremony. They will properly fold the flag. They will have a fire that is much larger than they need and much hotter than they need. And it's actually, they want that flag to incinerate very quickly. As the flag goes into the fire, it is saluted, the Pledge of Allegiance is recited, and a moment of silence is recognized. The ashes are then removed and buried.
Now, what day is it? Is it Veterans Day? I can't remember off the top of my head that the flag is to be flown at half staff until I think it's noon, and then after that it's raised.
I believe it is Veterans Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to look up a few things before you came on the show.
It's either Memorial Day or Veterans Day. And Memorial Day, unfortunately, is the day that we have to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in their call to arms. But Veterans Day is an opportunity where we can go shake a hand, so there is a distinction between the two.
Now, last week that was the POW MIA
Last Friday.
Okay. Is that a specific day, or were there events, or what was that?
Well, I guess it all depends on your area. POW MIA Day was first observed in 1979, actually in April. And it was observed in April because that is when the largest amount of POW was taken during World War II. So they kind of wanted to recognize that. But as we remember the Vietnam era, where some great heroes and some POWs that we remember, such as John McCain said, no, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to stay with my guys until everybody comes home. They decided to move it, and they decided that it shouldn't be around another holiday. So it is the third Friday in September.
Okay.
And it is to remember those who have not come home, whose remains have not come home, and those who suffered under the brutality of our enemy.